I'm now joined by Mr. Subimal Bhattacharjee. He's a cyber security policy advisor. He's the head of technology division share. And I'm also joined by Mr. Rajesh Dua. He's the founder of Neo Stocks and a stock market expert. Gentlemen, welcome to this show. In the last couple of days, Assam has been rocked by several scams involving cyber fraud, both cyber scams, cyber fraud as well as stock broking scams. Now, let me go to you, Mr. Rajesh Dua, if you can hear me. Mr. Dua, several people have been arrested, and they were promising the people minimum of 30% returns. They were taking money in small amounts, gaining the confidence of the investors, giving them returns, and then slowly, once the confidence is gained, they collected huge amounts of money, and then those apps, the application systems which were used, they suddenly disappeared from the cyberspace, and they could not contact anybody. So people have been, their estimates vary between 3,000 to 700 crores in Assam particularly. Now, can anybody really, assure 30%, 40% returns? Can anybody give such an assurance in stockbroking?
Well, firstly, I would say no. It's absolute no. Whenever anyone who claims to provide the returns, can you hear me?
Yes.
Anyone who claims to provide the returns somewhere in the bracket of 10% or 30% per month, it's not possible. If that guy would have been doing it, he would be the richest person in the world. It's possible, right? So the modus operandi of how this happens has already been explained earlier in the program. I would rather focus more on how to not get into such traps.
Yes.
Firstly, you have to get rid of the greed. There is no system in the world who can give you instant money and faster. It's not possible. Stocks trading does appear as very lucrative because there are thousands of videos on YouTube, on social media, which claim that they're making good money, they're making decent money, they follow this strategy, etc., etc. But in reality, if you see, SEBI is our regulator. They have the absolute data with them, and they tell everyone that 90% of the traders lose their money. It's only 10%, and these 10% are basically institutions. So just imagine 90% people losing the money, and still if somebody calls up and they say they have got a good strategy and you should invest in them, do not do it. There is nothing as such which can provide you decent returns. Secondly is that when it comes to the stocks trading, I would rather like to tell the viewers, don't trust anyone, except it's a bank or a SEBI registered institution. Rather, spend a lot of time in learning the art of stocks trading. First thing. Second one, if anyone talks about, you download this app and you deposit the money and you'll see your returns, etc., do not do it. The money in your demat account, which is provided by the broker, the money is safe there, not anywhere else, if you're into stocks trading. So do not push the money in anybody's account or any other app's account. That's the second thing which I would want to say as an awareness to the user.
Yeah.
Thirdly, do not fall prey to any Telegram channels. I see it every day. I mean, the moment you talk about stocks trading, anywhere on social media, thousands of channels will start adding you. They will start finding your numbers or your email addresses. They will start adding you, and you'll find yourself into a group on WhatsApp or on Telegram, which is the most notorious one, that you'll suddenly find yourself into a group which you don't even know. And there are hundreds of people talking about how they were benefited, they've made a good money, and then somebody is talking about some strategy, etc. So this is an organized crime. They lure people into such conversations where they lure people to invest some money and to work with them. So earlier it was being said, but do not fall prey to it.
Okay.
Do not any group which is not known to you, which is promising something, don't do it.
Right. Let me turn to Mr. Subimal Bhattacharya, one of the leading cyber security experts. Mr. Subimal Bhattacharya, we have given two examples of two other types of crimes that's happening in Guwahati, in Assam rather. Now, what we are seeing is that suddenly the parents will get a call saying that if it is a son, they said that, oh, your son has raped somebody and he's in the police station, you have to pay this amount of money. And if it is a girl, if it is a daughter, then the parents will get a call that your daughter is in police station in our custody, and that she is involved in some drug trafficking and this and that. And as the police commissioner was in the studios with me, said that there was a father who just paid 85 lakh rupees even without making a call to his son. Now, is it so easy? Can't these people be tracked down? Don't they fear that the police will ultimately get to them? They will be tracked. How do they get the guts to do these kind of things again and again?
Yeah, thank you, Wasbir. I think Mr. Diganta Bora explained very clearly a lot of these cyber crimes happening in Assam, but it is not only restricted to Assam, all across the country.
Yes.
Such kind of scams are going on in a very large scale. In fact, if I may tell you, the National Cybercrime Portal as well as the 1930 helpline number on a daily basis receives 60,000 to 70,000 cases. And of course, most of them are the digital fraud cases, but a significant of them are just this kind of cases where, parents or, some women would have come and trapped a man, and so just to save his reputation, he keeps on paying on and on. So these things are continuing. The question that you asked about, don't they fear, or where is it that they are not able to be tracked, despite everyone knowing that these cases are happening rampantly, growing and across the country. So all the efforts from the different police forces in the country, and mind you, law enforcement is a state subject. Although as far as cyber is concerned, the Union Home Ministry actually in 2019 set up the I4C, which of course not only handles that portal and the complaint repository, and then it passes on to the states. But what has been noticed is that the system has not been able to cope up to the extent of crime that is proliferating. And there is, of course, a time element in which these people operate. And by the time, people who, are become gullible, or even very educated people get trapped into such kind of thing, because it seems that it is real. Psychologically, you are trapped by these fellows, because they run these criminal syndicates in such a manner that they do a lot of training, and they know where to play with your emotions, where to play, with your bank account and other personal details.
Now, Mr. Bhattacharya, Mr. Bhattacharya, lack of awareness, do you think that is one of the primary reason? Because we have given example of a doctor who has been duped of rupees 3 crore 97 lakhs in this stockbroking scam, because he has invested that kind of money. And when he wanted to redeem this money, or sorry, he wanted to book the profit, then only he realized that, those people were nowhere to be found.
No, I think Mr. Dua has very clearly mentioned, that when you go to stockbroking, how you have to conduct yourself. Unless you have some basic knowledge, you cannot trust anyone to give a money, and that is the intent of SEBI also, to take away the financial influencers, influencers that they are called. There has been a drastic action even now. But so as our people are, particularly in Assam, people are very gullible. People try to trust. People give to all this kind of nonsense greed.
So awareness is the key. Yes. Let me quickly turn to once again to Mr. Rajesh Dua. Mr. Dua, let's go to Mr. Dua. Mr. Dua, one of the persons arrested on charges of indulging in stockbroking scam, like the other people who have been arrested here, he was running an institute, a swanky institute. He was charging fee, and there were people from all over the state and the northeastern region who were taking classes how to do stockbroking. Now a lot of people are saying that without clearance you cannot run a school or an institute like that.
Well, there are two things to it, and I will tell you that this is another modus operandi of many people. Running a school is not an issue. That is not a problem. The problem comes in that when you run a school and you try to manage funds. So this falls in the category of managing the funds. So it's very easy for the students to fall prey to the teacher who's teaching them. Well, he can always say that, guys, this looks very difficult, so don't worry, I already do it. We have this division. So why don't you come up with some money and deposit in this division with an assured returns? So this is the modus operandi, and there are different kind of institutes. Those who are honest in doing this, they don't realize that stocks trading is a very risky game. You cannot be winner at all the times.
Yeah.
You may be a loser as well.
Yes.
No one can predict the market. So when they lose the money, that's where they get into that trap. This is one category. The second category is like the case that you were telling. They had a swanky school. They would have hired nice teachers, everything, collected the money, and one night, well, what's the money count that we have? Maybe runs into crores. Let's run. Who will come after us? So one thing that I want to tell the viewers is that do not give your hard-earned money to anyone with this greed that you will get an assured return. Nobody would give you a assured return. One, that you must learn yourself, right? Two, if you want to trade only in your Demat account.
Yeah.
Three, anybody would ask you about your Demat account or TOTPs and passwords, etc. Do not give it. It is strictly illegal by SEBI also. They are also very clear. They say don't share it with anyone. So you have to it's you who is responsible for your money, nobody else, because there are thousands of people sitting out there who are willing to take the money away. The most easiest possible way, right? So it is an individual who has to be aware that I will not give money to anyone. If I have to do any activity with my money, it has to be in my account by me. That these are things that I would like to really emphasize on. And yes, there is nothing called as an assured returns in stocks trading market. I mean,
absolutely.
I've been into stocks trading for a long years.
The takeaway, that big takeaway from what Mr. Dua is saying is that there is nothing called an assured returns as far as the stock market or stock trading is concerned. Nobody can predict. You may be making profits at one point. You may just the very next moment your stocks may crash and you may lose a lot of money. That is the big takeaway. And do your trading only through your Demat accounts, and do not give passwords and other things related to your Demat account or any account for that matter to anyone, because as Mr. Dua said, we alone are responsible for our money, because there are a lot of people on the prowl. Finally, Mr. Subimal Bhattacharjee, you said a very important thing. 60,000 to 17,000 cases are received every day in that national cybercrime portal. But that the helpline number 1930, lot of people still don't know the existence of this helpline number. They're not aware of this.
Yeah, I think, across the country, the police forces have to take a big role with maybe resident welfare associations to all kinds of platforms. All educational institutions have to be made alert about it. But Wasbir, I also want to add to the 60 to 70,000 story that from financial year 22-23, where you had 6,700 digital frauds cases, in the next year, 23-24, it came up to 29,000. And the thumb rule of recovery is just about 12%. So for 100 rupees that is gone to cybercrime, even if you are complaining and all in time and follow that, only 12.5 rupees is coming. So this is a big worry that where it is. So the I4C now has something known as the Citizen Financial Cyber Fraud Reporting and Management System, CFC RMS, that has integrated the law enforcement agencies, the Reserve Bank, the financial intermediary, everyone is there. And in real time basis, they go and now track. But yet, I think there's a lot of work to be done at the local police level also
Right.
to be able to
Right. Right.
stop things in time.
Absolutely. I'm running out of time, and we will have a discussion once again sooner than later. And there is a lot to talk about. I foresee what you are talking about, Mr. Subimal Bhattacharjee. At the end of the day, I'd like to thank both my panelists for giving this very, very useful information to our viewers. At the end of the day, the money is yours, viewer. You have to be extremely careful. You cannot be gullible, and you cannot later blame that, oh, I have lost my money, because you need to be careful, because cyber criminals are on the prowl, and some smart Alex are up there trying to grab your money, like these people who have promised 30 to 100% returns in the stockbroking, and which, as our experts have said, no one can guarantee any returns whatsoever when you do a trading in stocks. So we have learned a lot today. I would like to thank my panelists, the police commissioner and the two experts, Mr. Subimal Bhattacharjee, Rajesh Dua, and thanks the viewers for watching the program. Good night and goodbye.